Continue with the COVID-19 management. In the last class, we discussed about the management of mild and moderate disease, and in mild mainly isolation and the symptomatic treatment, and in moderate also isolation and oxygen treatment with oxygen and IV fluid management, and we should be cautious in fluid management in patients with COVID-19 without tissue perfusion and fluid responsiveness, and the aggressive fluid resuscitation may worsen the oxygenation. And next one about the severe COVID-19 and the mainly ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome, and in selected patients with COVID-19 and mild ARDS, a trial of high flow nasal oxygen or NIV or non-invasive ventilation, that is CPAP or BiPAP, continuous positive airway pressure, and bilevel positive airway pressure may be used. And in patients with hypoxemic respiratory failure, or there is severe hemodynamical instability or multi-organ failure or abnormal mental status, the invasive ventilation is ideal. And WHO recommends that recommends the implementation of mechanical ventilation using lower tidal volume, that is 4 to 8 ml per kg predicted body weight, and lower inspiratory pressure, that is less than 30 centimeter water. So the implementation of mechanical ventilation using lower tidal volume and lower inspiratory pressure is a strong recommendation from a clinical guideline for patients with ARDS. And in severe ARDS, that is PaO2 by FiO2 less than 150, prone ventilation for about 12 to 16 hours per day is recommended by WHO. And use a conservative fluid management strategy for ARDS patients without tissue hypoperfusion and fluid responsiveness. And in patients with moderate to severe ARDS, a trial of higher positive end expiratory pressure, higher PEEP instead of lower PEEP is suggested by WHO. In patients with excessive secretions or difficulty clearing secretions, consider application of airway clearance techniques. And in settings with access to expertise in extracorporeal membrane oxygenation ECMO, consider referral of patients who have refractory hypoxemia, like example including a ratio of partial pressure of arterial oxygen PaO2 to the FiO2 of less than 50 millimeter mercury for 3 hours, or PaO2 by FiO2 less than 80 millimeter mercury for more than 6 hours. Next, about the management of critical COVID-19 septic shock, and recognize the septic shock in adults when there is infection and plus hypotension plus lactate more than or equal to 2 millimole per liter. So hypotension means when vasopressors are needed to maintain the mean arterial pressure to more than or equal to 65 millimeter mercury. And in the absence of a lactate measurement, use blood pressure and that is mean arterial pressure and clinical signs of perfusion to define the shock. And in case of septic shock, treatment should be started within 1 hour, and antimicrobial should be started, and the IV fluid treatment, IV fluid bolus and vasopressors to maintain the BP, and if available, central venous pressure monitoring and arterial BP monitoring should be done. In case of the IV fluid in septic shock, in adults 250 to 500 ml of crystalloid fluid as rapid bolus should be given in the initial 15 to 30 minutes. In case of children, 10 to 20 ml per kg crystalloid fluid should be given as bolus in the first 30 to 60 minutes. And the fluid resuscitation may lead to fluid overload and including the respiratory failure, particularly with ARDS. If there is no response to fluid loading or there is signs of fluid overload like increased JVP or crackles in pulmonary edema in imaging or hepatomegaly, then reduce or discontinue the fluid administration. And this step is particularly important in patients with hypoxemic respiratory failure. And the crystalloids include either NS or normal saline or Ringer lactate. And determine the need for additional fluid bolus.